Good afternoon, Alicia. Incredibly intense scenes here in Mahon County, where Colonel Fitzpatrick was sentenced to what we now believe is 3 years. And I'm joined by his lawyer. How do you feel things went this morning?
They went very poorly. Today, a man who has honorably served his nation in the U.S. military for over 24 years was sentenced to prison for exercising his God-given rights as protected under the Constitution of the United States.
We saw, as Fitzpatrick was led out of court, more than 24 veterans stood up and applauded him. We're going to hear from one of those veterans in just a second.
And we the people. The government is coming, turning out to be not the people. The government never was intended to be the people. The citizens are the people. The government works for us. And we're going to see more of this. And I'm proud, again, to be part of this group that stands here with Lieutenant Colonel Fitzpatrick, and I'm just happy to be here.
As you can see, some very angry members of the community there. That gentleman was actually from Etowah, Tennessee. You said, sir, that you will actually be appealing this. Is that correct?
We will be appealing this ruling, yes.
For yourself, why is this such a challenging and frustrating case?
Well, because this man was sentenced for essentially exercising his right to petition the government for redress of grievances. That's a First Amendment constitutionally protected right. And it means that anybody who now wants to go to the grand jury to petition the government has to be in fear of being thrown in jail for doing so.
Well, then, thank you very much for your time. And we'll give you a full update on this case tonight on WDF News 12. Reporting live in Mahon County, James Mahon, WDF News 12.
Strangers from both legal teams, dozens of protesters and a legal history lesson from a livid Mahon County judge were all part of a real-life courtroom drama in Athens Tuesday morning. A tense court knew this was going to be a very controversial sentencing, but few were prepared for what happened Tuesday morning.
Perverting the constitutional rights of this state to have a legally orderly function of government, and he shows no signs whatsoever of abating or learning his lessons.
Judge Blackwood then compared Walter Fitzpatrick to a moral coward before handing him a 3-year sentence after referencing both George Washington and the Battle of Athens.
Stand, sir. Stand.
More than 24 veterans then applauded Fitzpatrick, calling him a hero for speaking out against the corruption in Washington, D.C. and questioning the birthplace of President Obama.
Fitzpatrick's lawyer said this is a shame and an embarrassment to the Constitution, and he will be appealing and moving forward with his client's case.
Has petitioned his government for redress of grievances, and for that he has been convicted and sentenced and put in jail after serving his country in the military for 24 years.
Witnesses outlined how Fitzpatrick had spent the past 4 years connected to the theft of court documents, threatening jury members and stalking court officials.
Out of Monroe County, that's now going to be served consecutively. That case is still on appeal before the Tennessee Supreme Court. We're hoping to get a new trial in that case. And this case is certainly going to be appealed.
Supporters of Fitzpatrick believe he was once again defending his country, but this time against its own constitution.
Corrupt government fall. And that's what my prayers are. And again, I'm proud to be an American citizen.
Now, protesters also gathered outside the courtroom, saying they would support Fitzpatrick through every appeal. A documentary film crew from Nashville were kept outside the courtroom as a heavy police presence surrounded the downtown area of the city from early morning. Live in studio, James Mahon, WDF News 12.